श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Is Maya real? Maya is real to the extent that we see the Maya Karyam. The Jagat is there, and because the Karyam is there, Karanam is also there. To that extent, Maya is, or at least appears to be real. At the same time, we know that there is only one real Vastu. There cannot be two. You cannot have a parallel reality. Then do we conclude that Maya is false, Asat? That also we can say Maya is Asat because there cannot be more than one Sat. And yet you cannot categorically say dismiss Maya. When we go into the depth of this kind of study, when the clarity about the Vastu emerges, then we can make a statement that there's nothing else. No Guru, no Shishya, no Jagat. But till then, seen from one perspective, Maya Karyam is real. Maya Karyam is Jagat. Therefore, Maya is real. At the same time, it's not real. Maya is Asat. At the same time, it is not Asat. That is the definition of Mithya. Neither can it be classified categorically as Satyam, nor can it be dismissed as Asat. One can argue till cows come home that the Jagat is real, therefore Maya is real. But Vichara is required. Where does Mithya start and where does it end? There is a start for Mithya. Maya is the starting point. And everything else after that is Mithya, being Karya. Maya creates this entire Jagat. Again, we use the word create, but we are very careful about understanding what it is. By itself, Maya is also Jada. It cannot create anything. But in the presence of Satvastu Brahman, it appears to create the entire Jagat. Mayam prakritim vidyat, mayinam tu maheshwaram. Both are required. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat. Prakriti is what? Prakarshena kriti samarthyatvat. It has the ability to create, which means it is all knowledge. As far as the Jagat is concerned, it is all knowledge. And yet we call Maya Ajnanam. Maya is Ajnanam because the major jnanam that we should have about the nature of the self, about the nature of Jagat, and about the nature of Ishvara is falsely projected. Vikshepa. This projection is what we call Maya. Maya born Jagat. The Jagat in which we interact with so many things, so many people. The Jagat which seems to give us pleasure and pain, because the objects of the senses have also been created. Senses are created. Objects of senses are created. And the ability to sense is also created. And because it has the samarthyam, it's also called prakriti. So he said, Shakti dvayam hi mayayaha vikshepa avriti rupakam. Vikshepa avriti rupakam dvi shakti dvayam. Vikshepa shakti lingadi brahmandantam jagat srijit. Because of the vikshepa shakti, the ability to project, we see the whole world. We exist in this world. World is a very, very small world. World is a small world. The entire cosmos. All the Slokas, 7 above, 7 below, all the cosmic entities that are known and those that are not known, all of them can be defined in one word, Jagat. This Jagat, Maya Vikshep Shakti Sajed, it creates. We've seen create is not create as we understand in English. It manifests. It is all knowledge. Otherwise, you cannot create all of this. The entire Jagat, some of which I know, some of which I don't know. Fortunately, we have Swapna Prapancham to understand this idea. Is Swapna real? Yes, it is from one point to one perspective. And no, it is not from another perspective. It is neither real nor asat. Now we know what Maya is. Maya is all knowledge. What is Swapna Prapancham? It's only a projection of the knowledge that is already existing in the dreamer. No dreamer can dream of something he doesn't know. If he's never seen an ice hockey match, doesn't know what ice hockey is all about, he may never heard the word ice puck. He's not going to dream of that little, it's not a ball because it's not spherical, that is used in ice hockey. Because he doesn't know. It is as good as saying, can you dream about dabadwa dubu? I don't know what it is. How am I going to dream dabadwa dubu? Maya, if it is the karanam for the creation of the entire Jagat, must know everything there is in it. Otherwise it cannot create. It can only create what is known. Therefore, Maya is all knowledge. Exactly like the dreamer is all knowledge of whatever is there in the dream. That's limited. Maya is everything, unlimited. At the same time, Maya is ajnanam. Why do we say that? Because the one knowledge which Maya is not able to help us gain is the knowledge of the self. There is this Avarana Shakti, which we will talk more about. Why does he have to create this whole Jagat? Because there is Avarana of the truth. Just like our lady in the house tries to cover up all that muck there is in the drawing room by veiling whatever knowledge there is about that with a nice clean bedspread and project it as something else by putting a few knickknacks on that. If you think about it, we do it all the time in life. Avarana and Vikshepa. Veiling and projection. Veiling and projection. And it happens over and over and over again. Shaktidvayam hi mayaya vikshepavriti rupakam. And of these, the vikshepa shakti, the ability to project something which is not true. When you say project itself means true, not true. That is why a movie projector is there. It projects something on a background. We know it's not true. And yet it looks true. It looks real. Real enough to cause a variety of emotional upheavals. Laughter, anger, pity, sympathy, grief. Sometimes I wonder why we deliberately put ourselves through all this. Let's go and watch a movie, and then come back. It made me feel very sad. It is like inflicting on ourselves, which is not necessary. Vikshepa shaktihi lingadi brahmandantam jagat srijet. That Vikshepa shakti creates this whole jagat. What does the jagat consist of? At the Vyashti level, the individual Sukshma Sharira and Sthula Sharira, Lingadi. And at the Samashti level, Brahmandantam, to Brahmanda. Brahmanda includes not only this earth, but everything else and everything in between. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha. All the internecine spaces. Space is created. Time is created. All the vastus are created. All the emotions are created. Sukha Dukkha is created. That is why Bhagavad Gita repeatedly tells us maintain samatvam, because these are all non-real. Sukha Dukkhe, Labha, Labhav, in all conditions, maintain your equanimity. How can you maintain equanimity? Only by knowing that this is mithya. Like you go to see a movie which evokes anger because of the injustice you see in that movie. That's also make-believe only. What is real is only the screen behind it, which is blank, on which you project all these things. Same thing happens in Maya Shishtam Jagat. In that Shishtam is included also one's body, mind, sense complex. So anything that happens to them is like that, what happens on the movie screen. One simple exercise we can all try. It is easy to say, my stomach is aching. You don't say, I am aching. But little bit more vichar is required if one were to say, my mind is disturbed, rather than I am disturbed. Even if it doesn't come naturally, one can practice it. Not I am sad. My mind is sad. I told you earlier also, there is one Swami Ramatirtha who lived about 100 years ago. He would never use the word I for anything Laukika. He would always say Rama. Rama says this, Rama thinks this. That's only Namarupa. Vikshepa Shakti Lingadi at the Vyashti level, the individual level, all the Sukshma Sthula Sharira is only a projection. As is the entire Jagat. Therefore, any interaction there is also Vidya. So that Vikshepa Shakti he deals with first by saying that Vikshepa Shakti is what projects the entire world which we think is real. Why do I feel that way? To me, my mind is real. And this mind is what senses the entire Jagat. So what is the perspective? Vyavaharika perspective. It is real. Seen from the Vyavaharika perspective, it is real. But if one can extricate oneself out of this and say, yes, it is happening. I am only witnessing what is happening. I am the Sakshi. I am the Dṛk. I am not a participant. I am not a Dṛsya. So if one can understand this, either as Dṛg-dṛśya-viveka, or that this is all a projection created by the Vikshepa Shakti of Maya. And then creates what? Creates what looks like a real Jagat. So having sensed that this entire Brahmandam, for which Moola Karanam is Maya, which itself is Vidya. And that this Linga Sharira of the individual, which seems to carry embedded in it all the information, all the data of all the past lives of this jiva, the individual, of the entire Sanchita Karma, that seems to have a gati within the samsara. This gati can be to other lokas and back, but still within samsara. This understanding of the Vikshepa Shakti of Maya, which appears to make the entire Jagat real. Just like the dream is real, as long as I am in the dream. When I wake up in sweat, because in the dream I'm a serial killer. Wake up and say, thank God, it is only a dream. Somewhere the knowledge of serial killer is there. Maybe one saw some movie or read a book or something and projected the same on the self in the dream. So this Vikshepa Shakti creates the entire Jagat. But what is the Jagat? What is the Srishti? It is only name and form, Nama Rupa. We have this famous example of gold and golden ornaments, iron and iron instruments. There is Srishti. You cannot deny there's no Srishti. But we know that none of the golden ornaments exist independent of gold. So when one is able to see, you go to this gold ornament shop and see only ornaments. Then you see only Srishti. We are not able to penetrate the veil. And then when one is able to see that there is this bangle, this ring is beautiful. This bangle is too heavy. From there we move on to say, in every bangle, in every ring, in every chain, we are also able to see gold. How the perspective changes. The lady who goes to buy a bangle sees only the bangle. The bullion trader who comes into the shop sees only gold. Gold in the form of bangle, gold in the form of ring, gold in the form of chain and whatever else. So his thinking is, oh, there must be at least 1 ton of gold here. He goes to Zaveri and Sons and says, my God, there must be at least 1 ton of gold in here. Or better still, he goes to the gold souk in Dubai. He only sees gold. In fact, it's a good experience to go to the gold souk. Where you go to a Zaveri Brothers shop, you see individual ornaments, and you're able to see that there's a difference between this ring and that ring. But you go to the gold souk, there are tons of gold in all sorts of forms. It's easy to see that's only gold because there's so much of them. But then you see the ring is only gold in the form of a ring. That whole souk is nothing but ring, nothing but gold. And if we translate that into the Jagat, the whole Jagat is nothing but Brahman. You are able to see beyond the veil of Maya. Only Brahman. That is the Jnani. One who is able to see only Brahman in everything. All other things being Mithya, Nama Rupa. But before we get to that stage, you have to graduate from the stage of seeing only a golden bangle. Only, not even a golden bangle, we only say bangle. In fact, the golden becomes an adjective to bangle. You only see a bangle. Maybe we should think of it as bangly gold, ringy gold. One step in that right direction. Then one is able to see that the gold is in the form of this ring, in the form of this chain. And the next step then becomes simple enough to say there is only gold. This Srishti is not creation as we understand in English. So he says, Srishtir Nama. Srishti itself, the entire Srishti is only Nama. Srishtir Nama Brahma Rupe Satchidananda Vastuni. Both are Saptami. On that Brahman, superimposed, we see this Srishtir Nama. What is the nature of the Brahman? Satchidananda Vastu. On that Satchidananda Vastu, I see only Nama Rupa. So I'm able to see that the ring is only Nama Rupa. A big ring is another Nama Rupa, a small ring is another type of Nama Rupa. If for a minute we can assume that gold also has Chaitanyam, only for purpose of understanding. Gold is Chaitanyam, but Chaitanya is not gold. Then we can imagine the conversation that's taking place within the gold ornament shop. The ring saying, why am I so small? Look at that angle. It is so much nicer, so much bigger. And all the complexes that come with it. Fortunately, gold is jada and does not have chitchaya. Therefore, gold doesn't argue. But golden ring will not say, I will not sit on your finger. I don't like your finger. Because there is no chitchaya. Srishtir nama brahma rupe Satchidananda Vastuni. That limitless Satchidananda. That I am is jnanam. I am karta is false jnanam. I am bhokta. I am aham brahmosmi. Truth. I am is an undeniable fact. That I am, nobody can deny. But on that I am, when you superimpose the properties of the sharira, of the manas, sthula shukshma sharira, then all these false notions arise. That I am is samanya jnanam. You cannot deny that. I am fat is wrong vishesha jnanam. Because of the vikshepa shakti. I am Satchidananda Brahman is true jnana. So the small gold ring which was arguing that I am so small, once that jnanam is there, what has happened there? That I am, the gold ring knows. That I am small is superimposed jnana, wrong, false jnana. That I am gold and nothing but gold is true jnana. All other complexes follow. I am karta is the wrong notion. Karta I am. Karta I am, bhokta I am. Because all kartritvam, bhoktritvam, everything is non-separate from I, Satchidananda Brahman. But I, the vastu, cannot be karta. This one-sided equation creates a problem. For us, when you say A is equal to B, B has to be equal to A, logically. But here is a situation when A is equal to B, or let's take the other way around, B is equal to A, body is equal to Atma. The other way is not true. Atma is not equal to the body. Atma is another, completely another sphere of reality. But this sphere of reality of the body, sukshma sthula sharira, is projected. Like a dream is another order of reality to waking. Waking is waking, dream is dream. The two don't have anything in common, except the fact that the dream is a projection of the knowledge gained during waking up. But otherwise, they have nothing to do with each other. The dreamer has nothing to do with the waker. You cannot be simultaneously be the sleeper or the dreamer or the waker. You want to be able to dream, you have to get out of being a waker. Another entity altogether, mutually independent of each other. Srishtid Nama Brahma Rupe, that self-revealing Brahman, Satchidananda Vastuni, like what? Creation. We've been looking at a gold and gold ornaments example. He gives another very nice example. Abdhau Phenadivat Sarva. Phena is foam. Foam, bubble, froth, wavelet, wave, surf, tsunami, all are what? In essence, all of them are nothing but the ocean. They have a life of their own. They start, they end. And they all have different end users. Like to say the other day, you cannot surf on a wavelet. You need a surf to surf. A wavelet is not destructive. A tsunami is. So all of these, Abdhau, up to me again, on the Abdhi, Phenadivat Sarvam, Phenadivat Sarva, Phena Adivat, like the many forms, many Namarupa that the water of the ocean takes. Namarupa Prasarana. This Maya Shakti of Brahman, which he said has two types of Shakti, Vikshepa and Avarana, rejecting and veiling, is only Prasarana. It diffuses into, it expands into, without changing. It's important. That Brahman does not become the Jagat. The dreamer does not become the dream. The whole dream world with its own time, with its own space, is only a projection. The cinema actor who may be a very kind man, may be projected as a villain. That's when he goes. I remember many, many years ago, I saw one Hindi movie called, I don't remember the name, but this young girl is really taken by the film. She doesn't understand that it's only projection. So as a cure for her, they take her to through some contacts to the shooting sets. And she sees some very interesting things. Those days, there used to be a villain called Pran. In that set, he comes through as a very kind, compassionate man. But in the movie, he comes through as an arrogant, harsh, cruel man. They're not the same. It's only a projection. Phenadivat. Phena is probably not foam or bubble. You know, one might argue that it has other elements. Air is there required for you to create bubble or foam. But wave is a good example. Wave is nothing but water. The surf is nothing but water. That's why I like the gold example. It's nothing but gold. There's nothing else than gold. We take the extreme case of this, is our famous rope snake. Rope snake has its own limitations. There it's very clear how the rope gets projected as a snake. So having studied the rope snake again and again, please be careful. If you see a snake, don't think, oh, it's only a rope. You just might find that it is alive and able to really cause harm. It's a Vedantist perspective. So you see a rope, snake and say, no, it's only a rope. Not all snakes are ropes. So the Jagat Shrishti, it's only creation as a loose translation. Shrishtir Nama Brahma Rupe, on that Brahma, which is Satchidananda Vastu, therefore Satchidananda Vastuni, like you get all these forms of water. Which are created, which is also Shrishti. But not creation in the way we understand the word creation in English. So it's perhaps better to use the word Shrishti than create confusion by saying it's created. The Jagat is not created. Jagat is only manifest. And this manifest goes on and on. Manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest. Everything. One is born, he is gone. Some have a short cycle, some have a longer cycle. There is no creation which involves any change. Vivarta Shrishti, without any change. Gold remains gold. That is why the gold bullion trader is interested in that. If gold were to change into something else to become a chain, he may not be interested. Because he sees only gold. So we see the Vastu in this Jagat in the form of various planets, stars, mountains, rivers, individuals, insects, mosquitoes. But we see all of them only as Brahman in the form of. That's why that model that we have, that Atma creates Akasha. No. Atma in the form of Akasha. See Akasha, you see Atma. Atma and Akasha in the form of Vayu. Now you can see in Coimbatore these days we have heavy Vayu. And you see that and say, oh, Srishti. Time, space, distances, fire, water, earth, all Brahman in the form of. That form of implies Nama-rupa. It's only Nama and Rupa without self-existence. Nama-rupa means no self-existence. It depends on its substantive for existence. There is no substantive in any of these. Just like there is no substantive in a movie. They exist, but the basic substantive behind that is the screen. Movie finishes, the screen remains. Before the movie starts, the screen remains. During the movie, the screen remains. After the movie is over, the screen remains. Bhagavad Gita has some very nice verses on this. What was there earlier? Before the creation of a pot, there was only clay. During the existence of the pot, there was only clay. That's why we're able to see clay in the pot, or we should be able to see clay in the pot. After the pot is destroyed, there's only clay. Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asit. There is nothing else. We have talked about the Vikshepa Shakti. Why does Maya need Vikshepa Shakti? Why do we have to have Vikshepa Shakti? If the knowledge is clear, Aham Brahmosmi is clear, why does a projection happen at all? Why would a projection happen? That's the truth. The projection happens because that jnanam is not clear. And what makes it not clear? Maya, he said, has two types of Shakti, Vikshepa and Avarana Shakti. Because the truth is hidden. We've been discussing earlier also. When the question of the truth of I is to be understood, to begin with, we see I as the Sharira, Manas, senses, etc. Just like the lady who goes to buy the gold ornament shop, sees only the gold ring, not even the gold ring, the ring or the chain. We see only the Sharira. I am the Sharira. I am the Manas. If I say the Manas is I, it's correct. But we don't do that. We say, I am the Sharira. And therefore, anything that belongs to the Sharira belongs to me. I am the Manas. Therefore, any state of the mind is mine. Why does this happen? Because if we look at the physical body, Sthula Sharira, or the Sukshma Sharira, the mind, the buddhi, the senses, we can easily arrive at the fact that none of these, I is none of these. I is not the body. Because the body keeps changing. The mind keeps changing. Now we have a real problem. We have come to this general conclusion and knowledge that I am not this body. But the samanya jnanam of I am still there. So I may no more say I am fat. I may say the body is fat. But that leaves a very big void. Because I know I exist, I have to be able to give it a definition. And that definition, the truth of the I, is covered. that Vikshepa Shakti comes into play because the truth is not available to me. The true nature of I is not available to me. And it's not available to me because of the Avarna Shakti of Maya. That makes it necessary to have some projection. I am. Therefore, I have to say, what am I? The two go together. Vikshepa Shakti and Avarna Shakti go together. Traditionally, when you look at the two Shakti of Maya, we look at Avarna Shakti first. Because Maya veils by its Avarna Shakti the reality, Vikshepa Shakti has to come into play to project something which is not true. Like the lady of the house, till she did that bedspread on that, covered the truth, there's no Vikshepa. Now she put some knickknacks, some pictures, some flower work, there is Vikshepa. But this process is a continuous, ongoing process. So the lady made something manifest, created an illusion, Maya, which seemed to suggest that what is there behind the sheet is not junk. But in reality, in our understanding, Vikshepa and Avarana are continuous processes. They are simultaneous and they are continuous. So in this verse, he takes up the Avarana Shakti to say, let's read this verse together, verse 15. Dṛg-dṛśya-vivekam
Dṛg-dṛśya-vivekam
Bahishcha Brahma Sargayoho
Bahishcha Brahma Sargayoho
Avarnotya Parashaktihi
Avranotya Parashakti
Sa Samsarasya Karanam.
Sasamsarasya Karanam.
This power of Maya, other power, called Avarana Shakti, conceals all the creates the Veda between Dṛk and Dṛśya, perceiver and the perceived. We are not able to see the oneness in that. Therefore, the truth is hidden, both in terms of antaha, Dṛg-dṛśya-vivekam, the difference between Dṛk and Dṛśya. I am the perceiver. I am the doer. And that perceived is something else. And Bahishcha Brahma Sargayoho. Externally, outside the Sharira, the Sarga is the entire Srishti. We see the differences because the truth is covered. And what is the truth? There is no difference. Everything is only Brahman. that being covered, this Parashakti, Avarana Shakti, Sa Samsarasya Karanam. This Bhedam we see, the differences. That is what creates the idea of samsara. I'm a samsari. You know, in some languages, I'm a samsari means I'm a married man with children. Samsari because the truth is hidden from me, and I in its place project something else. So the second power of Maya, Avarana Shakti, is talked about in this verse. We will look at it in some detail in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti
Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Shanti. Hari Om Shanti.